I think one of the things that Chris Dixon talks about is that really great ideas often sound stupid in the very beginning. And I think the related problem that we have is we work with a lot of students who are very bright and are very motivated and want to try and build things and like create some cool products, and they may not like they're not going to be building out businesses, right? But one of the things we issues run into is like how do we give people that feedback and like how do we look at their ideas in a way that like should we like to encourage them to do it, like when we don't we can't tell if it's a good idea, right? Like what are some ways that we can encourage like how should we respond to, how should we work with students who are like entrepreneurial, like want to build things and like they have ideas and they're like looking at interesting things. Like what your recommendation? How we foster that?
Like there's very little value in making judgments on these things. These shows that like judge startups are kind of silly because you guys know the famous Federal Express story. Story where Fred Smith went to business school and he got like a C- on the paper, which was basically a business plan for Federal Express. It was an interesting idea, but totally impractical. It would never work in the real world. It was literally a criticism. And that's kind of like business plan contests, all those, they're ridiculous. It's stupid. Because it really is about a secret. So I think it's fine to ask questions of students and test their thinking and see what they've thought through and so forth. But when you really, like when we ask questions like that, we're trying to get at, are they doing it because they know something that I don't? Or are they doing it just because they don't, they're just missing the obvious? And you don't have to make the ultimate judgment on that. Like, I don't know what the purpose would be, like you guys are venture capitalists. So, I don't think there's any value add in telling people their idea sucks. Or that their idea is good for that matter. I mean, that shouldn't be what the process is about. What the process should be about was going, okay, like I've thought of this, what do you think about it? Well, I think that these and these and this might be a challenge. And you go, well, like that might be a challenge, but here's why you're wrong, the entrepreneur might say, or like they might go, oh, okay, that's good input, like let me think about that and change something. And that's more like the dialogue you want to be in. Yeah. Look, we get it wrong all the time, as does like every venture capitalist, and we're like have way more experience and kind of rationale behind why we would invest in something or reject something. And so, like, it's just kind of like amateur hour. But I mean, like if somebody has like a truly like idiotic idea, feed the tuna fish mayonnaise, like that's fine. I think most people who are probably at Columbia have an idea that makes some sense. And I think the big criticism that I have on entrepreneurs is if they have an idea, we call it like, is it artificial or is it, is it compelled by something that you've learned, like really learned in some hard lesson? Or is it you just like looking at like everything in the world and seeing where there's white space where you can build something? And what we found is the latter just doesn't work as well. So if you go, okay, like there's social networking for everybody, and then there's like, but what you really need is like social network for like Asian women who are under 5 feet tall. Because and those kinds of ideas tend not to work that well because it's like, and we get ideas like that all the time. Maybe not quite phrased that stupidly, but you can imagine it's like, well, what we need is like, Twitter for African Americans, and you look on Twitter and it's like African Americans over-index like 2 times as many per capita African Americans as white people. So African Americans like Twitter. Like, why do they need black Twitter? Like, and so, but that's one of these things where you're kind of looking for a niche that, without actually saying is there a problem, right? There's not a problem. It's just you want to build a company, so you're looking for some white space. Those tend to not work as well.